Got it.
It says,
It's streaming.
hello.
Hey,
Hello. How are you guys doing today?
hey, Patrice.
Hey, Patrice.
Hi, Natasha.
How you doing?
It's going good. Hi, family and friends. It's TRUEsday Tuesday. Today, we're coming together as a team. I wanted to introduce to you guys Natasha Russell and Antoine Jones. We are going to be discussing, are you prepared for college? All right. So we're just going to hit on some of the pain points that you may be experiencing, you may be going through, or you know someone else that's going through it. Hopefully this conversation will help you guys out. All right, so right now, 1.7 trillion students are in debt in the United States, and the student debt is about $40,000 per student.
Wow. Wow.
So that's where we're at. Natasha, you know anyone in debt, or have you you experienced this yourself?
Absolutely. Yes. I purposely, because of that, or that my family and I've seen other family members go through, it really shaped which college I went to. I purposely stayed in state for college because of the expenses and how much it was really gonna cost. And you don't realize it till you really look into it, we just could not afford out of state tuition. And when I remember my junior year of high school thinking, if I can't get a scholarship, I was really going to go to beauty college, because at that point I was like, I don't think we can afford this. My parents were already working 2 jobs. We had just got a new house not that long before. So yeah, a lot of the cost of school definitely shapes your future. And I wish I would have known everything that's available through life insurance before, back in my day, because I imagine how my life would be different. I feel like you have more options available to you when you can afford certain things. So, but yeah, no, I've been there. I went to University of Southern Indiana, and it wasn't on the grand scale of things on the cost of college. My school really wasn't that much, but I paid like $13,000 per semester. So mine really wasn't that much, but my friends that went to IU and like Big Ten schools, they started off at $30K a semester, and the first thing that they get you to get when you go to college is a credit card. I tell everybody I sold my credit score for a free sub at Penn Station, because they were giving out free subs. They're like, sign up for this credit card, and they gave me a $300 credit limit. I was like, okay, we got a party this weekend, max that out, like not knowing that I would be paying for that in my adult life forever for that one Penn Station free sub. Like, so yeah, had no idea what you don't know.
Right.
Absolutely. And part of not knowing is we were never taught.
Right.
Our parents weren't taught.
Right.
And in the public school systems, it's not being taught. It wasn't taught. I don't know about private school. I wasn't in a private school, but I do know financial literacy has not been spoken of enough for us, when we're in middle school, elementary school, high school, preparing for college. And another thing I think that hurt a lot of folks was when they're filling out that FAFSA form,
Mhm.
one is confusing,
Yeah.
and two, when you got a 2-income household or a parent that's making a certain amount of money, then they
Mhm.
say you don't qualify for certain type, monies.
Right.
That hurts because now you gotta dip into the debt pool. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
I was that person. I was absolutely that person. My parents worked their butt off to get us a nicer home, and excuse me. And by the time it was time for me to apply for college, they said they made too much.
Mm.
And so because they made too much, I had to do nothing but private loans. I had Chase. I had one with it's now Navient, but it used to be Sally Mae, so it was not no financial aid available, nothing but private loans. And
Wow.
so, you're stuck with that. And you're stuck with that until you can either pay it off or die out of it. But so, yeah, that's
Man.
why I love these platforms like this, to be able to educate others that there's other ways, um, and there's other options available to you. So that's what we're here to talk about.
Man, I know I didn't have a plan for college. And one of the things that do happen when you don't have a plan, 70% of people overpay for college.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes from not having a plan. So
Absolutely.
if you were able to put a plan in action, and the sooner the better, for, I mean, even if you want to go back to college, but
Mm-hmm.
really for your children, if you want to have a plan in place and instill that knowledge prior to them getting it, they'll know what to look for.
When do y'all feel is the best time to start planning for college?
I feel it at birth, like when you plan that you
Yeah.
want to have children and you want to have a home. I mean, yeah, of course, everyone may not go to college, but if you're planned and you're prepared, at least you'll have those funds set aside for
Mm-hmm.
them to grow into whatever they want to, accomplish. They could be, what we call them, the babypreneurs, the entrepreneurs. So you may
Uh-huh.
go down that route. So
Yeah.
I feel like as soon as you're planning your family.
Yes.
I agree. I
Absolutely.
agree. And then it goes back to what I said. Nobody told us we should be doing that when we're planning a family or having a family or starting a family. Nobody, you know what I mean? Nobody told us about that. But
Mm-hmm.
I do agree. I think that is a pivotal point in time where even it's $50, $100, or $200, or whatever you can afford, to just put that money aside diligently
Mm-hmm.
and put it in something that's going to compound. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Not like the bank where you're getting simple, but compounding.
Yeah.
And it's two different worlds. It's almost like adding and multiplication.
Right.
Adding and multiplication. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
I like to call it, a lot of people talk about generational wealth. I like to
Mm-hmm.
call generational knowledge, where when you
Mm.
instill that knowledge is going to go from grandchild to great grandchild to, I mean, just that knowledge that's instilled. Like, this is just what we do. So
Yeah.
me, a Livingston, this is what the Livingstons do.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
this is what Natasha Russell family
Mm-hmm.
does. Like, this is something that's instilled, and just put in generational knowledge.
And that's funny that you said generational knowledge because you look at two prominent families throughout American history was the Vanderbilts and the Rockefellers.
Mm-hmm.
And one company, they both earned to a status of billionaire status, multi-million billionaire status, but
Mm-hmm.
one maintained it to this day and the other did not.
Mm.
And what did they do to not stay at the status they were and continue to build for the next generation? They just spent. They didn't have vehicles like this that we can offer folks to start and put in They had the vehicles, but they didn't take advantage of them. Let's put it that way. Their parents and grandparents used the vehicles to get them to that point. And once they got to that point and the old people died off, they didn't take it from there. So generational wealth can be achieved, but you got to have the mindset, and the seeds have to be planted within the younger generation, the next generation, and the generation after that, to continually feed the beast, continually do the things that's going to take it to the next level and the next level and continue to go on. Because the Rockefellers, they continue to compound their money. They continue to do things. When kids were born, they immediately put them in programs like we talk about. They immediately did that from birth. Whereas the Vanderbilts, they just spent, they lavish lifestyle, yachts and things of that nature. They just kept taking out and not putting more deposits in. They just kept taking out. And now it's only one Vanderbilt that's left.
Man, what do you guys think as far as some of the problems like this that we see like in the school or when it comes to planning for college? Like, what are some problems? Like, one I can think of is, I mean, I can think of many, but I'll throw one out there. The one guidance counselor to 500 students.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a problem. Yeah.
That's a huge problem right now. We're experiencing the great resignation. So people, people that are working in the education field, they're fed up. They're seeing that you can, and then, a perfect example, I had a friend that absolutely loved being a teacher. I mean, loved it. Like I could never imagine her doing anything else. And she's a kindergarten teacher, and she walked away from it this year.
Wow.
Because it's just so, they've put so much responsibility on educators and not increase their pay. The pay has remained the same, but the responsibilities has increased. So, imagine how they feel when they can get off of work and go to Panda Express and see that they can make more at Panda Express than they can teaching and, pouring into young minds and shaping and molding them and dealing with all the, shenanigans that come along with being a teacher and dealing with the parents and, all of that. So yeah, guidance counselors, teachers, they're going through. They had to do 2 years back to back of virtual, and she teach kindergarten. You know how hard it is to get some kindergartners
Virtual.
on a virtual. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah. Yeah, that is a huge problem. The kids are not being served properly because of understaffing issues right now. In my city, we have a huge shortage in educators as well as bus drivers. They're having to rotate teachers from school to school because of the shortage right now.
Talking about your children becoming a number.
Right. Yeah,
So
absolutely their number.
We really got to take it into our own hands to set up that proper planning. And then not to mention, if we are paying back student loan, we're in debt, and we're trying to maintain our current homes, what happens when it's time to retire? What about the savings for retirement?
There won't be any.
45% of Americans have nothing for retirement. They have saved nothing. And a lot of it is going back to college and being unprepared.
Yeah.
But Patrice, what if there was a plan where you could prepare your child at a young age, 1 year old, 2 years old. If they want to go to college, the money will be there. If they don't want to go to college, they can pivot. Let's say they want to open a business. The money will be there for that. But let's say they don't want to open a business and they just want to be working a 9 to 5. That may just be I mean, 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 people in America do it, just work a 9 to 5. So they work that 9 to 5. But guess what? That lump sum is still there, and it's continue to perpetuate. It continue to grow
Compound.
and compound, right? So now it's time to get that first house.
Mhm.
Now you don't have to run to the bank and borrow and beg for a down payment.
Mhm.
Now you got your house. Okay. Now you move further down the road and you're getting in your 40s and your 50s. Now you start really thinking about retirement, like Patrice said, retirement.
Mhm.
Now you put some money in your little 401k, and maybe they matched it. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But now you have another bucket of money that once you turn 65, 70, 72, or whatever,
Mhm.
it's yours. Income tax free.
Yeah.
I like that. Can we all say that together?
Yes.
Income tax free.
Income tax
Tax free.
free.
I mean, it sounds wonderful to me. I mean, I think it'll be quite terrible if we come on here and tell the people all the realities and the hard truths about not being prepared without having any answers. That's when
Absolutely.
Natasha and Antoine and Patrice comes in place and in hand, just
Mhm.
to help you along the way get prepared, so you won't have to worry about your child going through what you went through or
Mhm.
currently going through, because I know there's lots of people that's currently still paying off that student loan debt.
Man, I had 2 kids that went to the University of Maryland business school,
Right.
but she's smart. She got some money for that. And my son went to Frostburg. So my daughter went to the University of Maryland. Then my son turned around and went to Frostburg. So
What's Frostburg?
Frostburg State is a college in Maryland.
Oh, okay. Okay.
In Maryland, up in the mountains in Maryland. And I forgot that you're from Indiana. You wouldn't even know Frostburg.
You got to break it down first.
I thought that was an ice cream cone. I'm like, what? Sounds delicious to me.
So yeah, so you're talking about, paying for student debt, and you're out of school 10 years, 6 years, 8 years, or whatever, you still trying to pay that student debt off. It's when, especially if you're a young person, you're starting out in life. Now you're starting out and you're peeking from behind the 8 ball already, with a big debt in front of you.
That's so true.
That's so true.
So we're here to serve. We're here to help. We're here to educate, but we're also here to serve and share with you how to not be in that situation, how to not have your child or your children in that situation.
That's right. And we're able to set up and design a plan that's specifically for you. So this is not a one size fits all situation, because everybody is different. Everyone has different plans as far as what college you want to go to, just the understanding and knowledge behind what your expected family contribution is going to be when you get to college, and also just help kind of educate on what things they're going to be looking for, and ways that you can kind of convert some of your money that you have so it's non-accessible to the colleges. So that's going to help you out as well.
Mhm.
Oh, and then one thing we left out is, with this plan, while they're in college, the money is there to pay per semester or pay for the year at a time. It's right at your fingertips from your own personal budget.
Right.
So as FAFSA says, you make too much money, this plan is not even included in that FAFSA equation.
Mhm.
So they don't know about it. They don't have to know about it. You don't have to report it or anything like that. It's all legal. And man, it's going to help a lot of families, a lot of people. But the only way it can help you is if you holler at one of us and say, hey, we need some help. We're here to help. We're here to help.
You guys, I think that we should explain a little bit about what we're talking about, because we're all agents on this screen. So it makes sense to us. But I think we should, we would be doing a huge disservice by not actually saying what we're talking about without saying what we're talking about.
All right.
So
You want to do the honors of breaking down the prepaid college plan for them?
can't break down nothing, but I
Just a little bit. You don't got to break it all the way
okay,
down, but you can just give them the
so
info.
what we're referring to is we offer what's called a prepaid college plan. And if you can get it started with, like Patrice and I were saying, from birth, put a plan in place that will help use a life insurance vehicle to put, like Antoine was saying, to compound that interest and build and grow wealth. And by the time your kid is old enough to get married or go off to college, they can use that money for anything. Let's say, little Ray, he not the sharpest tool in the shed, and he want to start a business,
Good with his
got
hand.
the money. He not wasting it.
Mhm.
He's not wasting, you're not wasting valuable time by, sending him away to college, or, because college really isn't for everybody. Let's just be honest. And with the younger generation, they are exposed to so many things, with the internet, with YouTube, TikTok, all this stuff. They are constantly building and growing. I'm seeing even younger entrepreneurs right now. We have a young lady on our team. Her 8-year-old daughter makes bracelets, has her business already on Etsy, So these young people I can see them being the next wave of entrepreneurs. So why not empower them with having a lump sum of money? We don't have to subscribe to struggle? Let's break that. Let's make pouring into our children when we see their gifts and their talents at their young age, and empower them by giving them a lump sum of money and say, hey, take this, grow your business. I knew at a very young age that I grew up around my mom, watching her do hair and running her business. And then my grandfather was a barber. I knew at a young age I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I went to college because my mom wanted me to do something and have an education that she never had the opportunity to have. But had she have known about what we're providing, I believe that she would have been like, you know what? Here you go. Me and your dad, we see that this is something you're passionate about. We're going to pour into it. We've been saving up this money for that. So that's what this plan allows you to do.
That's so powerful.
It allows you to give your child the freedom to have options and to learn and grow into their gifts and their talents. And, to really, truly make their dreams a reality, not just lip service. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And we spoke so much about college and entrepreneurship, and we touched a little bit about retirement. But when you set up this plan, it's also going to give them a jump start on their retirement, because when they get in the retirement ages, they'll also have an income that's able to come in for them. So it's hidden in more than one area.
Yes.
Yeah. Plus, the plan is going to give them what is called, not to get too detailed, but living benefits. In the event that something was to happen to them, they would develop cancer or have high blood pressure or had a heart attack or stroke, anything like that, then there's some monies to help with that.
Yeah. Well, let's say you as the parent who put the plan in place later in your life, and for some odd reason, you have to go to a nursing home or something like that, and your child needs to take care of you now.
Yes. That happens a lot.
That happens a lot.
They have to drop out of school, like to help take care of their
Yes.
family, like their loved
Yeah.
ones.
And now the kid has access to this money to take care of you. Because most people get sick before they just die. A lot of people get sick and they end up in nursing homes and not have any money to take care of that. So then they have to fall on government assistance. And one thing about that, you got to strip all your assets, get rid of all your assets in order to be able to have that assistance.
Yeah.
So,
And in some states, the kids are responsible for the parents' health care as far as that is concerned. And the government immediately looks at the child or children for
yeah,
that money.
yeah.
Man, not to mention like just the money in Social Security is scheduled to be non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Well, it's about 20, what is this, 2020, 2035? I think it's 35. 70% you'll be getting of your Social Security. And it's on Social Security's website. You can go check it out. You can Google it and check it out. But they're already telling us you're only gonna get $7 out of $10. $7 out of every $10 you're supposed to get. You're not gonna get 100%. And so if it's going to be tough, making ends meet, and now Social Security is not going to be there, you got to look at options and ways that you can put money aside for you and not worry about, not depend on the government and not depend on, any other source but yourself.
that's so true. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad both of you joined. Like we all came together to give this information. Definitely want to set up a time for, I know a lot of people may have questions, and this was kind of a last minute decision to go live to give you guys this information, but we definitely want to do it again and have it scheduled so you guys can set your clocks so you'll be prepared. So if you do have questions, we'll be able to help you out with that. Any closes, Natasha or Antoine?
I'll let you guys go first.
No, just I would say just, you never can be too prepared. Just reach out to us. We can help you. Yeah, when we love doing this. Like we enjoy helping people. I am licensed in Indiana, Ohio, and Georgia. So if you are in any of those states, I can help you.
Yes. Mine's is going to be short and sweet. I'm just going to say, is you can't be too prepared. I say, it's never too late. Excuse me. It's never too late. So don't worry if it's, you didn't start right at 1 or 2 years old, or you have elementary, middle school, high school, college. It's never too late.
Yeah, I agree. And if it's past your period of time that you don't have any kids, think about your grandkids.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Think about your grandkids. If you don't have any grandkids, just think about your retirement. You know what I mean? We can show you how to really make sure that retirement is there when you need it. Because it's been a hole in your retirement the last 2, 3, 4 years and slowly been draining away. I don't know if you can open up those statements, but economy hasn't been really good and those 401ks have not been looking good, so we can help with that too.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you guys so much. And you guys have a wonderful week. And I'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Hi.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. We gotta stop this.